Thank you, Chairman Smith, for holding this important hearing, and thank you for your service, Secretary Yellen. Progressive spending has led to record inflation, and now this administration wants to add fuel to the fire. I was alarmed yesterday when I discovered the President Biden's request includes a 15% increase to the IRS annual funding. That's a $2.1 billion increase over the enacted funding levels for 2023 on the top the extra $80 billion Progressive gave to the IRS last year. The IRS exists to serve Americans, not to make the lives of taxpayers harder. It has been reported that millions of tax returns from previous years are still not processed. In my district, that we've been getting a lot of inquiries about how to get the refunds from the IRS. If the IRS owns my constituents' money, it could take years from them to receive their return. Many have expressed concerns about IRS snooping on their private bank record and transactions, heightened with sensitive personal information being released in years past. You claim that you are not going after lower and middle class Americans, yet progressives have been working behind the census, lower the 1099K threshold. Why should every Americans who are dealing with record inflation pay their rent and repay for their event tickets now go out of their way to file unneeded burdensome tax forms with lack of proper security? And why are you in favor of adding more unnecessary filing when the IRS is already dealing with endless backlogs?
Well, the objective of this legislation with respect to 1099Ks was to make sure that Americans have the information they need to accurately file their returns and pay the taxes that are due, because there are Americans who receive money from business that they do may be relatively small, and most Americans receive reports they use to file their income taxes on their wages and salaries, their interest and dividend income, and this
Madam
is
Secretary,
other income on which
I reclaim
taxes
my
are
time.
due.
I totally get that, but we already have that in the law right now, that 1099K, when you receive more than $600 transaction, then you have to file it. That's adding another burdensome to the taxpayers.
It was lowered in the ARP from, I believe, $20,000 to $600 because many Americans who earned less than $20,000 probably weren't getting that information and paying the taxes that were due. And it's, this was in the law. The IRS needed to implement what's in the law, and it's up to Congress to decide what the right.
I yield back. Thank you.
Gentleman from Michigan.